Is animal agriculture a social issue?
It turns out what we put on our plates matters a lot.
About 25% of all the global climate change problems we're seeing can be attributed back to the food and the choices that we're actually making about what we eat on a daily basis. This is greater than all the cars on the planet. In fact, it's about twice as much global warming pollution as the cars.
A lot of people feel really helpless when it comes to climate change, like they can't make a difference. And what our research is showing is that your personal decisions really can have a big impact.
If you really look at everything that went into making a single serving of beef, you end up emitting around 330 grams of carbon. That's like driving a car 3 miles. Now, if I choose to have chicken instead, there's more than a 5-fold drop in emissions. Switch to fish, and you see the number go down even more. Now, look at veggies. If I swapped beef out entirely for lentils, well, I'm down to practically nothing. So why does beef, and lamb too for that matter, pack such a powerful punch to the planet? Livestock accounts for a little over 14% of global greenhouse gas emissions. If that sort of seems low to you, consider it's about equal to transportation. We're talking all the cars, trucks, planes, trains, and ships on the planet combined. Plus, it takes a lot of land, fertilizer, and about 1 billion tons of grain to feed all that livestock. Vegan is the way to go for the least impact on the planet.
So yes, animal agriculture is a social issue, but is the general public aware of that? In order to find out, we interviewed a few people at a local market in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Do you consider yourself somebody who cares about the environment?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Do you currently take any actions to help the environment?
I'm taking baby steps in terms of my diet, so this was the year that I'm trying to phase out fish.
Well, we do recycling.
That's perfect.
We use paper straws, which we don't really like.
I know.
Especially for little kids because they go.
Do you have any knowledge about the impacts of veganism on the environment?
I do.
I don't. I have a son that has gone vegan, but he lives in California and I'm not buying, so I don't know how it's going.
If you do have current knowledge about some of the benefits of a vegan diet, what do you know specifically?
So in general, so actually I'm a water resources engineer, so that is kind of what I studied. So from my perspective, seeing that water impact of it and seeing how much energy it takes to that whole system and side of things has kind of been the biggest driver for me personally. I think the harder part is changing actual habits to match getting there. Because the leap from growing up with a meat-based diet and going straight to veganism is really scary. So it's just kind of the phasing out over time seems to be a better approach for myself.
I'm not vegan. I eat a little bit of meat, not very often, because it doesn't make me feel good. When I eat it, it's fish, maybe twice a month. So my diet is really different. I don't do dairy or very much meat, and I don't do gluten. I don't do any sugar except for natural fruit.
Did you change your diet because of how you were feeling, or did you begin to research and learn about it?
No, it was a physical how I felt. Step by step down the road, Each step brought a new thing to try.
One of our solutions to reducing animal agriculture is spreading awareness, because many people are unaware of all of the benefits that veganism has on the environment. One way we wanted to spread awareness was by going out and speaking with our local community.
Each day, eating vegan, you can actually save up to 1,100 gallons of water in a single day, 45 pounds of grain, 30 square feet of forest land, 20 pounds of carbon dioxide, and also, of course, the life of an innocent animal.
We wanted to see if spreading awareness was an effective way at reducing animal agriculture, so we asked if knowing about the environmental impacts of veganism made them more inclined to adopt a more plant-based diet.
You, of course, already have made the transition to your health.
I eat that one. I would have to think about it.
After interviewing our local community, we found out that 2 out of the 3 individuals that we interviewed were actually already educated on veganism and were already taking the actions towards a more plant-based, vegan-friendly lifestyle. This proved that spreading awareness was an effective way at eliminating or even reducing animal agriculture. Some of the harsh environmental impacts of animal agriculture include increased water and land usage, water and air pollution due to livestock manure, and an increase in greenhouse gas emissions. The impact that we have by eating vegan for one single day is even profound. One day on a vegan diet saves approximately 1,100 gallons of water, 45 pounds of grain, 30 square feet of forests, and 20 pounds of carbon dioxide. Through a philosophical perspective, producing meat is actually a quite wasteful tactic to get food due to the significant amount of land that is required for animal agriculture in comparison to plants. And since there are so many starving people in the world, it is believed that we have a moral obligation to use that land to grow more food to feed more people instead. 1 acre of land produces 250 pounds of beef, but that same acre of land could produce 50,000 pounds of tomatoes or 53,000 pounds of potatoes instead, which proves that veganism is incredibly sustainable for the environment. Because we know spreading awareness is effective, we decided to take it a step further by contacting the Hawaiian School Food Services branch to inquire what they define as healthy and if they are willing to change their menu based on the research that we provided. Furthermore, we contacted private schools on the island of Oahu to ask them if they can change their lunch program. Out of 10 schools, only 1 replied, partially because of the coronavirus. They said that starting from fall 2020, their committee wants to include vegan protein sources as an option for students. Implementing vegan meal choices into the students' diet is socially, environmentally, and economically beneficial. First, vegan protein sources are healthier than meat because they contain lower amounts of saturated fats, higher nutritional content, and they don't require antibiotics for production. They are less processed, which makes them healthier choices for growing humans, especially for children who are still developing. Second, contrary to the common stereotype, vegan protein sources are cheaper than meat. Hence, schools and government-sponsored meal programs will save money if they start vegan meal services and cut back on the meat options available. Therefore, they can charge students less for meals because the ingredients will cost less. Animal agriculture has been proven to have negative impacts on the environment, the economy, and the health of all of humanity, but we individually each have the power to make significant change just by simply altering our everyday diet by reducing or eliminating our animal produce consumption. A vegan diet is indeed economically, socially, and environmentally sustainable. And not only is it sustainable, but adopting a vegan diet is totally doable.
I mean, we may not all be able to afford an electric car or putting solar panels on our house, but we all have to eat every day. And these choices we make can add up to really big numbers. It may seem like a small thing, but it really does add up to big impacts.
The cause of animal agriculture is the fact that we humans have allowed our own greed and selfishness to overpower our sense of compassion and empathy. This lack of compassion and empathy for the animals is what caused us to adopt a false sense of superiority and become driven by our selfishness. This is why many people are unwilling to make the personal sacrifice of changing our diet when animals are forcefully sacrificing their life for a meal that will be devoured in minutes. Another cause of animal agriculture is the lack of awareness of all of the detrimental impacts of animal agriculture on the environment, health, and the animals. Because people lack awareness, they are blindly supporting the animal agriculture industry because we vote with our dollar. Although we may not be doing the killing ourselves, by purchasing animal produce, we are supporting the animal agriculture industry. So yes, veganism is a sustainable solution to help the environment, to improve the health of all of humanity, and also to help the economy. One single person alone does have the power to make a giant impact on the world. And starting slowly by simply reducing your animal produce consumption will end up making a big difference in the long run.